입에서 이게 말아서 들어간 건지 따로 먹었는지 모르겠어. 갑자기.
김밥은 옹알스다.
모든 이가 사랑한다.
모두가 다 즐길 수 있다.
맞아. 옹알스는 김밥이고 김밥은 옹알스. 김밥집 하네.
김 먹었어.
열정을 쏟을 곳이 필요했던 사람들, 그런 사람들의 이야기가 담겨지게 됐던 것 같습니다.
Presiding over Monday's cabinet meeting following his latest diplomatic agenda in New York, President Changdeokgung
South Korea's economy won't grow.
the central bank has kept its key interest rate unchanged.
Mission complete. Foreign rocket booty South Korea.
Seoul is rallying in hopes of bringing the World Expo 2030.
Arirang.
안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Friday's edition of the Culture Wave. I'm Kwon So-ah in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects and stay up to date with K-entertainment, K-trends, K-people, K-everything. And all of that together with our Friday co-host, Bella Kim. Hello, Bella. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Soa, and happy Friday to all of you joining us today. I'm Bella, here to co-host and keep you all updated with K-entertainment. So stay with us until the end to fill yourself up with K-culture.
All right, and K-enter coming up in a bit, as you just mentioned. But we also have a focus today on K-sports and K-awards. And that kind of rhymes. But for the latter, let's check out this report. Every year, Seoul hosts an award ceremony to acknowledge the efforts of those who served to enhance Korea's image overseas. Our news features reporter An Sung-jin was at the latest event.
Gold medal fencer Oh Sang-wook, table tennis medalist Shin Yu-bin, and star chef Edward Lee. What these figures have in common is that they have played a key role in raising Korea's image.
Since 2005, the Korea Image Communication Institute holds its annual Korea Image Awards, which not only honors those who raise Korea's profile abroad, but also those who represent and shine the country.
Oh became the first Asian fencer to win a Grand Slam of golds at the Asian Games, Asian Championships, World Championships, and Olympics.
When fencing at the Olympics, I never thought about being Asia's first, which is actually what helped me win the match.
Fellow Olympic medalist Shin Yu-bin, who won 2 bronze medals in table tennis, was given the Korea Image Flower Stone Award. Shin went viral at the Games for her positive attitude and for the snacks she ate during her breaks.
It's an honor to receive this award, and I'm glad that my accomplishments can help promote the country. I've still got a long way to go, but I will do my best to further promote South Korea.
The finalist on Netflix's Culinary Class Wars, Edward Kun Lee, was given the Korea Image Stepping Stone Bridge Award for his efforts to introduce Korean cuisine with traditional ingredients in a modern twist.
For the past few months, I was able to look back on who I am as Korean Lee-gyun. So many people from Korea have sent me love and support, and I was truly able to understand the meaning of Jong in Korea.
These award winners show that it's not just K-pop and dramas that spread Korean culture around the world. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
Well, congratulations to all the winners.
Yes, congratulations.
And including, of course, Chef Edward Lee or Edward Kyun Lee.
He appeared on the Culture Wave last year as well, right?
Exactly. And I think it's also really great to see two athletes being part of the recipients, because many people on a daily basis are exposed to K-pop and K-dramas. But it's really great to see that these Korean sports stars play a big role in promoting Korea's image overseas.
And I do remember a couple of years ago, the legendary figure skater Kim Yeona and also the swimmer Hwang Sun-woo received the awards as well.
Right. So I think Korean sports figures, they kind of embody Korea's character in that they are very diligent and also perseverant. So yes, I think it was really great to see these big names here receiving these awards. We will actually also talk a little bit about sport in a bit, but first we have our AI culture news with Ari. Take it away.
Welcome to the Culture Wave AI News. Here's our first story of the day. Culture Minister Yoo In-chun will attend the ASEAN Tourism Forum 2025 and the ASEAN Plus 3 Tourism Ministers meeting set for this weekend in Johor Bahru, Malaysia. Korea is co-chair of this year's Tourism Ministers meeting. Alongside Malaysia, Minister Yoo is slated to hold a series of bilateral meetings with his ASEAN counterparts to bolster tourism cooperation with the region. He will also underscore the Korean government's efforts to ensure a safe and convenient travel environment for international visitors. The World Art Expo 2025, a global art fair showcasing diverse artistic genres, is underway at COEX in Seoul, featuring over 130 booths from domestic and international exhibitors. The event spotlights emerging talents and introduces distinctive galleries poised to shape the future of contemporary art. A variety of programs, including webtoon exhibitions, special invitational showcases, and the Olympi Art, provide a platform to share Korea's vibrant artistic spirit with the world. The expo runs through the Sunday. The Yungno Museum has opened an exhibition highlighting female Korean artists who shape modern and contemporary Korean art. Titled Glittering Water, Korean Modern and Contemporary Female Artists. The exhibition features 11 artists who shared artistic influences with Lee, including prominent painter Kim Do-won and Kim Yoon-shin, one of the few post-war female painters and sculptors. The exhibition aims to highlight the contributions of these women, whose work was often overlooked in the male-dominated art world, and re-examine their impact on the evolution of 20th century Korean art. Yoon was a pioneering figure in the development of Korean abstract art. It will be open until April 6th. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more cultural updates and insightful discussions ahead.
Time for some K-entertainment news with Bella Kim. Bella, today we start off with a big milestone by K-pop acts in the U.S.
Yes, that is right. K-pop groups including Stray Kids, ENHYPEN, and 80s dominated CD sales in the United States last year. According to the year-end music report released by music data tracking company Luminate, 7 K-pop albums ranked in the top 10 CD sales in the US for the year of 2024. Stray Kids led the K-pop charts, securing the second highest spot on the ranking with their album 8, selling 442,000 copies. And the group's latest release, HAP, also performed very well, ranking 5th.
Oh, and what about the other groups?
There are other groups as well. Another group who made the ranking is ENHYPEN with their album Romance Untold, making 3rd place. And also, they sold about 360,000 copies. In addition, 80s also made a strong showing with 2 entries in the chart, top 10. The group's Golden Hour Part 1 and both Part 2 placed 4th and 7th, respectively. Tomorrow by Together's Minisode 3 Tomorrow ranked 6th, and also Twice's With Youth secured 9th place. Meanwhile, Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets department claimed the top spot with over 1.5 million copies sold. And in the overall sales category, which combines physical CD album copies and also digital album copies, Stray Kids and ENHYPEN made it to the top 10.
Very impressive. Now, Bella, next we will continue with another K-pop story, but about a specific K-pop group.
Yes, we are going to talk about Group 17. And 17, the Korea Minting and Security Printing Corporation, or KOMSCO, has minted medals themed on the Group 17 to celebrate the group's 10th year anniversary. The medals have been created in collaboration with 17's agency Pledis Entertainment and its also parent company Hive. KOMSCO announced that the medals encapsulate 17's identity and achievements. The design of 17 10th anniversary commemorative medal features 17's official logo with vinyl record pattern as well. A total of 1,000 1-ounce gold medals, 3,000 half-ounce gold medals, and 13,000 silver medals will be available to buy for the fans. So you can definitely get your hands on them until January 31st. So 17 fans, carrot, make sure you mark your calendar.
Very meaningful for 17 and their fans as well. Now, last but not least, we have an update on Dark Nuns, which is a movie coming out.
That is correct. Prior to its release, Dark Nuns has been distributed to movie theaters in 160 countries. Its distributor New confirmed that the film will be screened to audiences from all over the world, starting with the country Indonesia, Taiwan, and Mongolia on January 24th. And then it will open to Philippines on the 29th of January, and Australia, New Zealand, Thailand on February 6th, Vietnam on February 21st. The sequel, Dark Nuns, which comes 10 years after The Priest, tells the story of Sister Unia and Sister Michaela, who go to a forbidden ceremony to save a boy possessed by a powerful evil spirit. And the film will star Song Hye-kyo and Jeon Yeobin as two nuns. So very excited to see those two, play nuns together. And it will be released in Korea on January 24th.
I'm also very excited to see the chemistry between these two actresses. So thank you, Bella, for today's K-Enter updates.
My pleasure.
Time for some K-Sports action. From new contracts to a new Olympic chief in Korea to winter sports in Asia. We will have it all covered with our sportscaster, Jason Lee, who is joining us in the studio. Hello, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hello.
So, Jason, why don't we start with where we kind of left off last time? We talked about Kim Hae-sung, who used to be from the Kyum Heroes, maybe I should say now. So last time, we were just a few hours away from him signing with a Major League Baseball team. And the next morning, we found out that he did sign a contract with the LA Dodgers, not the Angels, not Padres. So that was quite a big surprise, wasn't it?
Honestly, it was. There are a lot of teams that seem to have been publicly in on Kim Hae-sung's services. The Mariners were another team that was interested. The Angels, I think, were the front runners because it had already been reported that they offered a $28 million contract for 5 years. And I think what was really surprising is that the LA Dodgers ended up signing him for just $12.5 million over 3 years. So that's less than half the guaranteed money. Now, the Dodgers also have 2 team option years that could make the contract worth as much as $22 million. That's still $6 million less than what the LA Angels were offering. And the Angels and Dodgers essentially play in the same city, within like an hour apart. So it's not like you're gaining major differences here or there, although, of course, the Dodgers are the reigning World Series champions. They've got a lot of Asians on their team already. The history, of course, with Park Chan-ho and Ri Hyun-jin having been played there before. Right. And, of course, Kim Hae-sung did say that he grew up watching a lot of those particular games on TV of his fellow countrymen. So the Dodgers were one of his favorite teams as a kid, which I think certainly made him want to go there. But he took a significant pay cut in order to play for the Dodgers rather than any of the other teams. Another thing that was kind of surprising at the time is that the Dodgers already had a second baseman in Gavin Lux, while the Angels, they were offering him the starting second job because they were going to move Luis Rengifo to third base and essentially sit Anthony Rendon. So it seemed like the media at the time of the signing were saying, okay, Kim Hae-sung took much less money to go and become a bench player, utility player with the Dodgers rather than, you know, taking more money to play for the Angels. A couple of days after he signed, the Dodgers ended up trading Gavin Lux to the Cincinnati Reds. So in the end, it does turn out that it appears that Kim Hae-sung should be the starting second baseman for the Dodgers. I think in the end, he's happy that he's with the team that he wants to be. They're a good team that are going to be winning a lot of games for the most part. And the LA Dodgers have to be absolutely thrilled by the fact that they get Kim Hae-sung at a very, very cheap contract, just like around $4 million a year, essentially. They get a Gold Glove quality second baseman, and he's Korean in Los Angeles, who have the largest population of Koreans outside of Korea. So they should be able to sell even more tickets and sell more paraphernalia and stuff for people to go and watch their games. So it's a win-win for everybody.
So in the end, I guess it all turned out well for Kim Hae-sung as well as the LA Dodgers, the team. And, you know, money doesn't always count. Like, it's not always the priority for everyone, I guess.
Absolutely. It doesn't always bring happiness, but certainly, and if you're winning games, I think, and you have enough money, then, yeah, everyone can be happy.
And I'm sure all the Koreans in LA are definitely very excited that he's, you know, coming to the Dodgers as well.
If I were living in LA right now, I'd be thrilled.
Super excited. Yes, for sure. And also, speaking of contracts, let's move on to soccer contract now. Sonny, Son Heung-min, also had his contract extended for another year with his team Tottenham. And how do you think this will affect the long-term future with, you know, Sonny in Tottenham? And is there a chance that, you know, he could move to other teams before his contract gets over next summer?
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about this, and in all honesty, his contract was originally going to expire in June of this year.
Right.
That's been extended one more year, which Tottenham had the right to do. So I think, to be honest, it was kind of a foregone conclusion that that would happen, and now it has happened. So it really doesn't change too much in terms of the rumors. We're still going to hear about Barcelona wanting his services. We're still going to hear about the possibilities of him returning to Germany. We're still going to hear about maybe some of these teams in Saudi Arabia or the Arabic countries paying amazing amounts of monies to acquire his services. And we're also going to continue to hear about Tottenham perhaps negotiating with them to extend his contract perhaps an extra 2 or 3 years. I would like to think probably until about 2027 because the World Cup is going to be played in 2026 in North America. And I think you want to keep him until at least a year after that because he'll be more valuable while he's playing in the World Cup. And by then, he'll be 34 years of age. Who knows where his career goes by then. But in terms, to answer your other question, is it possible that he goes to another team? It certainly is. And like I said, the rumors will persist. It's not going to be, okay, he signed an extension, so that means this all goes away. He can still be transferred in the next window. Technically, he could be transferred right now for the next couple of weeks, but I don't think that's going to happen. And to be honest, I would still be surprised if he was transferred at all. And the biggest reason for that actually being because of Yang Min-hyuk, who just went to Tottenham a month ago from Korea. So you have this 18-year-old teenage Korean phenom who's playing on the same team as Son Heung-min, and it just doesn't make sense if they were to allow their captain and mentor, perhaps, to leave because of money. I mean, to gain a few $1 million more, let's, perhaps have question marks about the development about Yang Min-hyuk, because what if, let's say, what if they transferred Son Heung-min to another team, they get some cash out of it, but then 4 or 5 years from now, if Yang Min-hyuk doesn't develop the way that he does, you're going to wonder, what if? What if we had kept Son Heung-min this whole time until 2027? Maybe Yang Min-hyuk would have become a different player. And I think that what if would be really difficult to get over from the team's perspective. So I would be shocked, and I certainly hope that Tottenham don't transfer him for that reason.
I hope that Son is going to be a great Hyung to Yang.
Exactly. And, could you imagine if you were Yang Min-hyuk, you signed with Tottenham, you go there, and a month or two after arriving there, it's like Son Heung-min gets transferred to another team. You'd be like, now I'm here by myself, right? I mean, I could see how it could change the trajectory of his career for both of their sakes. I hope he stays.
Very excited to see, what happens with Yang Min-hyuk both and Son Heung-min as well.
Oh, and I might also add, Yang Min-hyuk actually made the roster of their team recently. So he didn't start, he didn't get into the game, but he was on the substitute list as one of the 9 substitutes that did not play. So it was a move in the right direction, that it shows that he's developing, that they were able to trust him enough that he might get into a game. He actually didn't play, but maybe in the next month or two, we might see Yang Min-hyuk as the youngest ever Korean to play in the English League.
Very, very excited to see him play as well. And Sonny and, Yang Min-hyuk together on one field in the same team. That's going to be very touching for definitely me to watch the game. But speaking of Sonny, we have to talk about yesterday's game as well, because he did score another goal, right?
He did.
We weren't able to see the 찰칵 ceremony, but we did see the quiet ceremony, yes. It was against Arsenal in the North London derby. Please tell us about the game that happened yesterday.
Yeah, let's first talk about the goal that Son Heung-min scored. It was a volley, a really high ball that came down just outside the box. He smashed it, and it was through a crowd of defenders. He was fortunate that it hit the right leg of a defender and ricocheted into the goal that gave Tottenham a 1-0 lead. Certainly, this is a huge game because Arsenal, of course, one of the top teams in the table right now. Unfortunately, however, Tottenham gave up a couple of late goals in the first half. They fell behind 2-1, and that's the way the game would eventually end. For Tottenham themselves, they have really struggled as of late. I want to say they have maybe 1 win in their last 13 contests or something like that. And they just have not been able to perform when it comes to one-goal games. They have the fewest draws in the league. I think they only have 3 draws. And they're second in the English Premier League in goals scored.
Right.
So the fact that you're second in goals scored, and they're currently 13th overall in the standings. Obviously, defensively, they're not doing great, but the biggest issue right now is these one-goal games that they can't seem to win, or at least get a draw out of. Just to get a single point would put them up at least 2 or 3 more spots in the standings.
Interesting. Well, let's shoot over to a different sports topic now. Next month, we have a big sports event coming up, the Asian Winter Games in China's Harbin. And this event actually for the first time in 8 years. So let's talk a bit about the event and also Team Korea. How is Team Korea preparing for it?
Yeah, that's right. So the Asian Winter Games taking place, like you mentioned, in Harbin, it hasn't happened for 8 years because of COVID-19, of course. And let's face it, when it comes to the Asian Games for winter sports, Korea, Japan, China, and Kazakhstan are pretty much the 4 countries that dominate in this. You think of like Southeast Asian countries, not as strong in winter sports
not much
in terms
snow
of the
there.
presence. Yeah, exactly, or ice for that matter. So Korea is definitely going to have a tremendous advantage for most countries, especially their short track speed skating team. Obviously, they do great in the Olympics. No reason for them not to perform especially well in the Asian Games. One name that I would like to mention as a standout is Cha Jun-hwan. He is a male figure skater, and he currently is the reigning silver medalist from the 2023 World Championship. So you have an athlete who's still young, just 21 years of age, that has performed on the world stage once again, and I think he's definitely got to be one of the favorites going into the Asian Winter Games. And hopefully, if he can win the gold here, that can really help him raise his confidence for the next Winter Olympics. Certainly, he's a name that, you know, I would say if you go after Kim Yeon-ah, he's probably been the most successful Korean figure skater since. So if you think of, you know, someone that's making a name for themselves, I think, like I said, if he can really win a gold medal here, raise his confidence level, I could see how that could catapult him even further for the next Winter Olympics.
Well, let's keep an eye on him. And last but not least, Korea has a new Olympic chief, Ryu Seung-min, who, of course, is a table tennis gold medalist, and he is now the president of the Korean Sport and Olympic Committee. With that, he defeated, I don't know if defeated would be the good way to say here, Lee Gi-heung, who failed his 3rd consecutive term. So what does this mean for Korea?
Well, Lee Gi-heung was at age 70, like you mentioned. He was going after a 3rd term, but he was also in the International Olympic Committee as well. But he loses his post, not just because of this, but also because of age factor, being 70 years of age, as mentioned. So Ryu Seung-min takes over his spot. It was actually a pretty close vote that Ryu Seung-min won by. And I like this. I'm a little bit biased, but I like the fact when you have former athletes, former successful athletes in roles like this, rather than administrators like Lee Gi-heung. So the fact that Ryu Seung-min won the gold medal in table tennis back in 2004, he was very prevalent in the Paris Olympics. We mentioned Shin Yu-bin previously as an ambassador of Korea that won multiple bronze medals at the Paris Olympics. Ryu Seung-min was regularly seen with her, talking with her during the Paris Olympics, and things like that. When you have influential people in high positions making decisions for the athletes' sakes, right? Those are the things that I like to see. There were some issues with Korea's Olympic group, let's call them, especially coming out of the Paris Olympics when it comes to the badminton group in particular. There were some question marks and, you know, some calls for resignations and stuff like that. So hopefully a new administration going in, coming from a player's vantage point, only helps for Korea's future when it comes to amateur and Olympic sports.
Let's see how he will do in his new role. And Jason, thank you very much for today's sports news.
Pleasure as always.
And thank you, Bella. Have a great weekend. We will see you back next week.
Yes, I'll see you back next week.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back next Monday at 2 p.m. Korea time. Hope you join us again then.